Okay, so then 2019 rolls around. Nipsey Hussle gets killed.
Yeah.
I've interviewed Nipsey before. I've been around him. Only good things to say about Nipsey.
Me too.
You had made some comments, though, about Eric Holder. You said that this is what a gangster is supposed to do when someone calls him a snitch.
I think I was interviewing with Reggie. I don't know what podcast he was on. And he asked me what was my thoughts on it. And you know, at the end of the day, the rules of the jungle is the rules of the jungle.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you call somebody certain things, every action gets a reaction. And this particular individual, everybody knew dude was a rider. You know, they knew he was about that life. You know, you can't call a dude a snitch in his face and expect him not to respond. Now, I think Nipsey might have been upset about something else because it really don't seem like him just to do that, but he did that. And it's no shock. It's like everybody's like, oh shit, what happened? You know what happened a million times. Dude called him a snitch. He came back, he killed him.
Well, I interviewed Cowboy, who was right there next to Nipsey when it happened. From what he saw, it wasn't like Shitty Cuz walked up to him. He's like, oh, you get your snitch ass away from me. It was, hey man, I've been hearing that you got some paperwork, so, you know, you should get that cleared up. It's like, oh man, dudes are hating. It's like, yeah, man, just get it cleared up. And they shook hands, and it was really from
Did he tell them same two dudes that just had a fight a week prior?
What do you mean?
This is what I said.
Wait, say it again. I missed what you said.
Them same two dudes that just had a fight a week prior?
The same two dudes?
Yeah.
Talking about Cowboy?
Shitty and Nipsey.
Shitty Cuz and Nipsey Hussle got into a fight?
They had a fight a week prior to that.
I never heard that.
Yeah, this is a fact.
I'm not saying it's not true. I just said I never heard that. Okay. So you're saying that there was already a bad situation.
Yeah.
How does someone like a Shitty Cuz, though, get into a fight with Nipsey, considering who Nipsey is and considering who Shitty Cuz is?
See, that's the thing with you guys. You talk about Nipsey the rapper, right?
Yeah.
On Crenshaw and Slauson, you know who Nipsey is?
Rolling 60s?
That's it.
Yeah.
Nobody gives a fuck about that.
Mm.
They don't care about that. When you enter these jungles, they don't care about. When Game go to Compton, nigga, you from Cedar Block, nigga.
Yeah.
And if you get caught by the wrong thing, they not gonna say, oh, that's Game, let him go. They gonna get at Game like they get at the dude at the liquor store.
Okay.
And that's where you guys, with what I call fake outrage.
Yeah.
Right? Because this situation that happened, and I hate to say it, was a normal standing situation. You call a dude something, dude ain't no punk, he get out like that, he get his man.
Almost like the Tupac situation in a way.
Same thing.
You jump a established gangster,
That's
and
it.
they will get a gun and go shoot at you.
This is normal street activity.
Yeah.
But because it's, and listen, it wasn't even the killing of Nipsey Hussle that brought all the buzz. Everybody was just talking about it, watching the video. It wasn't until Big U called a peace march on Crenshaw and Slauson with everybody in the area, enemies that ain't never seen each other.
You're talking about the Rolling 60s, the 8 Trays.
It was 8 Trays,
but really the 60s and the Trays was the big.
Hoovers, you had.
Yeah, it was the big.
He called a peace march, and remember, didn't no blood or nobody from another neighborhood kill Nipsey. His own homie killed him, right?
Yeah.
So what Big U was doing was something that may be in memory of him, but it was.
Which I thought was dope, by the way.
It was that.
Yeah. That
caused the explosion throughout the U.S. And it was like, oh, look what they doing for Nipsey. Well, if Big U would have done that, that wouldn't have happened. And then from that, you had everybody jumping on the bandwagon. And the reason why I call it bandwagon, because I feel like Nipsey had 3-4 songs that should have went last time I checked as a hit. But he was never in rotation. They didn't spin him on the radio.
No, he was somewhat of an underground artist.
As soon as he died.
As soon as he
died, they had the Nipsey Hour. They spinning Nipsey songs 60 minutes straight.
No, I agree.
He never heard his music represented the way it was represented alive at the time of his death.
Right.
I don't respect it.
It was...
Not saying I don't respect him. I don't respect these dudes who just was jumping on the bandwagon.
I mean, I thought it was dope that someone who I consider somewhat of an underground artist to be buried at, have the the Staples
That was
Center
great.
and everything else like that.
That was great.
Because I think with Nipsey, let me just interrupt you for 1 second. I think you're absolutely right. He was somewhat of an underground artist. He had no huge hit songs. He wasn't in rotation.
No, he had some. They just never gave him a shot.
He never had
They
number
never
one
performed.
on Billboard.
No,
He never hit the Billboard charts.
They were mad about that comment. What do you
Right.
think about that comment?
What do you mean?
When they asked me, did I think Nipsey was a musical legend? I said, no, absolutely not. He got one album in 7 years.
I could see your point in that. But I think that what Nipsey represented,
That
which
ain't
was
what I was asked.
okay,
This ain't about his fatherhood, his community work.
right.
Was he a musical legend? Is Wack100 on Vlad status in podcasting? Absolutely not. Why is people taking the truth as disrespect? The truth could never be considered as disrespect. All these so-called gangster thugs, street niggas, all of a sudden is overly emotional about what's real.
Yeah. I was emotional because I had met him before and I interviewed him before.
That's
and I've
cool,
been
but did I
around
tell
him.
a lie?
Well, I'm agreeing with you.
We talking music.
I'm not disagreeing with you on the music side.
I'm not talking nothing else.
This whole time have I disagreed with you on the music side?
No, I'm just being real, right? So, and then they took it and they spin it. Oh, he said Nipsey. And I told him, I said, look, in my opinion, at the time Tupac died, he was a musical legend. He had accolades, he had movies, he had double CDs that went quadruple play. He had work, he had all these things. At the time Biggie Smalls died, he was not a musical legend. He became that in time. People remixing his music, the movies, so on and so forth. He was dead before the second album came out.
Biggie had number one songs. Biggie
but he wasn't no legend.
Huge songs. But he only had 2 albums.
He was dead before the second one came out.
I mean,
he became it today.
No, listen, I interviewed Special Ed, and what he said, which was very interesting, he said Biggie didn't have a long enough career to put him in GOAT status, but Puffy marketed him as the GOAT and put him into a thing.
So if somebody can say that about Biggie, who had number one songs and hits and all that, Nip album did 50,000 copies.
I'm agreeing with you. I'm agreeing with you.
This is
I'm
just
not disagreeing with you.
Yeah,
and
so
I,
you know
and,
they
and,
like
I'm-
to
and
take
I
it.
was cool with Nipsey and the whole nine.
I was cool with him too.
Yeah.
I'm the first one to put Nip on New York radio. Wack100 did that through DJ K. Slade. This is a fact.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like me and Nipsey didn't have no problems. Right? But, you know, they like to take it, they move a word, create their own scenario, and, and just, look, man, don't ask me a question you don't want to hear the answer to.